Hi, my name is Brittany Knox, and this is my final presentation for BESL 3301. The level that I was assigned for this presentation was the early production stage. In this stage, your language learners are developing your basic vocabulary. Their understanding of certain words is reaching upwards of 1,000 words. This stage typically lasts anywhere from 6 months to a year. It's right after the silent stage where students are both communicating verbally and still a lot with hand motions. They're using 1 to 2 word responses like yes, no, this, that. And they might also be talking in short phrases like, may I go to bathroom? Or may I go outside? It's very short sentences, very to the point, but not always grammatically correct. For this stage, it's best to use hands-on demonstrations, giving students something they can work with, something they can touch, that they can understand. As a teacher during this level, it's best to ask questions that can be responded with those short 1 to 2 answers. So yes or no questions, either or questions, who, what, which one, how many, very simple while still being able to get the point across. You're simplifying your language, but you're not simplifying the content because you still want to get that content across and make sure that they're learning properly. And it's also the responsibility as a teacher to design a lesson that encourages verbal responses and expand their vocabulary. So for my activity for this presentation, my TEKS was 4.5b, matter and energy. The student knows that the matter has measurable physical properties, and those properties determine how matter is classified, changed, and used. The student is expected to compare and contrast a variety of mixtures, including solutions. The ELPS that I used for this activity is 1.E. Internalize new, basic, and academic language by using and reusing it in meaningful ways in speaking and writing activities that build concept and language attainment. For my content and language objective, the content objective that I chose was a student will be creating their mixtures and solutions from provided materials and then comparing and contrasting their mixtures and solutions. After that, the language objective is the student will use their mixtures and solutions vocabulary to differentiate and describe the mixtures they have created. So going into the activity instructions, as a whole class, we will begin the activity with a quick review as to what makes mixtures and solutions different, and the fact that mixtures are things that can be separated into their most basic pieces, kind of like when you mix sand and screws, you can separate the sand and the screws from each other, versus solutions and how you can't really separate them back out once they're created or combined. After we go over the review, students will then be split into small groups of 4 or 5 students per table, and at their table they will work together with the ingredients that they've been given and create a mixture solution. Once they've created that mixture solution, they'll discuss with their table mates why what they created is what it is. So they'll be describing, is it a mixture, is it a solution, and why. To help with this, the students will have their notes with them at all times so that they can reference back to them. After 5 to 10 minutes, the students will rotate to the next table and observe or interact with the already made mixture and or solution and discuss what it is before writing down their observations. Rotations will then continue until everyone has been to each table once and they're back at their home table. Once every student is back at their home table, we will have a class discussion again about about everyone's answers, and then make any corrections to anything, and then go in depth as to why their answers might have been wrong and why the corrections are, of course, correct. With me, I have some mixtures and solutions already made and something that the students would be making themselves. So one of the first ones that they use is goldfish and pretzels. It's something that can be described as a mixture. It's a solid mixture because you can go in and separate your goldfish and your pretzels. And then it's also something fun that the students can eat after class. Another one for your liquid solutions and or mixtures is ever classic oil and water. You can sit here and look at it. Don't know there it is. That's better. I chose clear glasses so you could see it, but how the mixture is separated, and the fact that the oil and the water, while they are in the glass together, they can be separated back out. And just some ones that haven't been made. Solid liquid, I'm improvising here and using fruit snacks, and I'm going to add a little bit of water, kind of like how the students would. And you can see if they swirl it around and whatnot, the fruit snacks are still fruit snacks and the water is still water. So this could technically be classified as a mixture. And the last one that I have sitting here with me is I have some sugar in a glass. And then once again, I'll add some water like the students would. Maybe a little bit more. And then I have a spoon. And give it a good mix. Ooh, that's louder than I expected, sorry. So it's not perfectly mixed, but the students will get the idea in the fact that if they're to mix it completely and utterly, you can't separate it back out. So this would be a solution. And on this slide, I have a couple more different examples. So for your solid, you have goldfish and pretzels, sands and screws, sugar and salt, or flour and sugar. For a solid liquid mixture solution, sand and grape, oh, not sand and grapes, sand and water, grapes and water, your sugar tea or salt water, and then liquid solutions or mixtures, oil and water, oil and dish soap. You also have salt and fresh water or milk and water. Some of the vocabulary that can be seen, used, or introduced to the students would be, of course, mixtures, solutions, liquids, solids, and then heterogeneous and homogeneous. Granted that these are very advanced words, especially for this stage, it's more of introducing the words to the students so that way they can start becoming familiar with them, because they'll start seeing them further and further along as they progress through different grades. Thank you so much for watching, and have a good day.